Now I would like to show you how we can integrate Sitecore Discover with our websites. So the goal is to cover different scenarios. So when, for example, we are using a different front-end framework in a head, like Vue.js or Angular or any other JavaScript framework. So then we will basically use the API approach, or what I called before, the hybrid approach. Then I will also be showing how to implement it in, for example, Next.js app that, of course, is going to be using the React SDK. So for this demo, I have created two empty applications. One is running Next, the other is Vue. As you can see here, this is created in Vue. If I show you the page now, yeah, nothing really interesting here. It's just the normal page you get after creating an app by using the CLI. And then the next step is to integrate with the tracking. And this is crucial that we generate a unique ID for the user interacting with the site. So then Discover can retrieve personalized results automatically. So if you follow the documentation, you will see that one of the approaches is to use the beacon. And the beacon is just a JavaScript snippet that you can get from the engagement console and put it in your head and on the site, and that's basically it. So I will be doing that now. I will grab the JavaScript from the console and then just implement it in the head of the website. For that, I'm using just the view head component or library to make it simpler. And then, which is important to mention here, sorry, is that you need the script to run asynchronously, so you don't get any impact on the performance on the page speed. So this is done. Now I will save the changes and I will wait for this to compile. So now the compiling is done, so we can double check our site again, and you will see, yeah, nothing really interesting showing up here. But if we inspect the elements, we can see that now the in script from this course should be there in the head section of the website. So yeah, let's double check that. Here we go. So here we have the in script. And what we can do to confirm that everything is going as expected is to check if we have our unique user ID created. So basically with the ref key ID, we get it in the console. And this is basically our unique identifier for the anonymous user. So basically you can start using it in the engagement console to, for example, monitor the events that are triggered by this user. Now I will show you how we can do the same on a React application. In that case, as I mentioned, I have a Next.js empty site up and running. And the idea is to, again, generate the unique user identifier. And also, I will show you how it interacts with the authentication of Discover by using the SDK for React. So let's have a quick look at what we have on the site at the moment. It's just, again, an empty website created from the CLI, so it's nothing really interesting here. In the meantime, let's get back to our code. And the only thing we need to do to achieve that is to wrap the app with the widget provider, which is part of the React SDK. So this is, yeah, now it's up and running, as you can see. So again, we need to add the widget provider from the React library, and then we need to wrap the return with the widget provider. And as you can see here, I have my environment variables with keys that are needed for that. I have only created my env file here, and you can get all this information, I mean the customer key and the API key and the environment as well, from the engagement console. So yeah, when this is done, I can already save the changes and wait for Next to compile again. And in the meantime, let's refresh our site. We see that now it's not only generating the unique ID, but it's also getting the token from Discover to start working with it. So we are already authenticated from our app. We can start querying the APIs, for example, the search and recommendations or the events. If we check the network, you will see that now we are getting the access token. If we check the scope search recommendations, and then there is an event here. There is a page view because yeah, we are just viewing this page here. It's the home page with, and we have also the user ID here. Yeah, the reason why I cannot use this one because I'm not using the bacon anymore. But you see that here I'm already generating my user ID. You can grab it from here and you can start also to monitor from the engagement console to see what the user is doing, which events are triggered, and also use the ID to query from the API. And the third option when it comes to integration is what I called the I-read approach. So basically here we want to make use of the npm packages that are a layer on top of React. So basically here, first I've removed the head implementation. I mean, I removed the bacon JavaScript. This is my Vue.js app. So after removing that, then what we need is to install the Discover data package. And we're gonna make a call to the setup and init in our app, so then we can authorize and also authenticate through Discover, and we can start making calls to the API. So I created this initialize Sitecore Discover method here. Again, I have my env variables with the app keys that we can get from the engagement console. So let me start. And then we will see how it works. So now, yeah, it's already built. So if we go now to our Vue.js app, I will check the network again, and I should be able to see the same than when I was implementing the widget provider from the React SDK. So now, yeah, site is loading. I get my access token, so I can also double check that. Yeah, I have my scope, search, recommendations, and then I also have the page view event. In the same way, I was able to make it working with the React SDK. So as you can see, with this approach, it's really simplistic. We don't need to build again our our authentication implementation, so we can just reuse those two packages again. We'll show you the data and core packages from Discover.